Welcome, viewers. This is another yet episode of Digitally Yours. There, Salaam alaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, namaste, sasyakar, Allah, wherever you are. And thank you for joining us to today. There, it's another episode of Digitally Yours. As you're aware that each week we try to bring new experts from the different industries, especially from digital marketing. And today we have a very special guest all the way from Canada. And before I introduce her and tell her about her story, I wanted to tell all the audiences and especially the youngsters from Asia, particularly, who are in touch with me on day-to-day basis, whether on YouTube or whether on Facebook or whether on Instagram and WhatsApp. And they've been asking that during this current pandemic situation, and they are facing lots of a problem. Where some people have lost the jobs. Companies are downsizing the small and medium size, apparently because of this pandemic situation. And it's understandably we need to change our whole concept of how we used to work there. As the company are allowing, more and more companies are allowing, especially in Europe and America, Australia and Canada, the all big continents, to work from home. So this has led lots of people in a situation where they have lost the job or they are lost in a somewhere. They don't know what to do with there. I always tell to my audiences as well as to my students that branding is an integral part of any marketing campaign. There is no marketing campaign without branding, and the journey starts from the branding itself there. Now, all of us, including you and me, we have heard a lot of a time about branding, and it comes to our mind that we talk a lot about branding, but how to achieve that branding there, or how the successful companies, if it comes to my mind, like Nike or McDonald or Pepsi or all other brands, including Apple and Amazon, have branded themselves in current market there. Of course, they have started their journey probably very slow from the shed of their house or from a small couple of people, like-minded people. In case of a Facebook, we all know their stories there. But the important message here is that branding, we have to give a full-fledged focus towards branding itself. And the more we give more importance towards the branding, there is a more chance of getting success for your product and services there. Tonight or in afternoon, whatever where you are considering, I have a very special guest, I would say, all the way from Canada. Now, the guest today with us is a Kim Speed, and she is a brand visibility expert. And I always wanted to have someone special guest who have expertise in a brand strategy. Now, she is an excellent speaker. She is a creative director, and she is the recipient of the 2019 Most Influential Businesswoman in a Brand Development. And she's the also author, Amazon best-selling author of the Branding on Shoestring. So her title is How to Recreate Your Small Business Identity and Increase Sales Results in 83 or Less. Now, that's very amazing if we could achieve a result in 83 days or less there. Kim has also worked as a graphic designer. She's an art director and a creative director during her early years in the corporate world, and has a pleasure to work with the Fortune 500 clients, including Coca-Cola and Ford. In 2009, Kim started her own business. Her company name brand is Purple Moon Creative, and she it's a marketing boutique basically, where she shares her brand expertise and her marketing skills with growing small businesses owners and entrepreneurs to help them to become visible, connected, and profitable. I would like to Kim to join us there. Very welcome to the show, Kim. You are with us now live.
Hello, Tassif.
How
Thank
are
you
you
for
today?
having me today.
Thank you very much. Look, the world is so small. I connected with you about a week ago. You are sitting in Canada, and I'm in Dublin, Ireland. So here we are, live there. For our audiences there. So Kim, before I start this live stream formally, want you to introduce yourself in your own words there, and then we'll take about the branding itself.
Well, thank you. You did such a great job of giving me an introduction. Thank you for all of that. But just so some of you know, over 10 years ago, I was working in the corporate world. I never thought that I was going to be an entrepreneur. It wasn't something that was on my list of things to do, but I actually found myself as part of a huge company layoff, and I found myself without a job. And during that time, I was actually going to just assume that I was going to go and find another job. And while I was doing that, I had the privilege of being able to spend some more time at home. Mm-hmm. And I got to enjoy time with my family, more time than I usually get. Mm-hmm. And I, realized how much time I actually spent at work and away from my children. Mm-hmm. And I made a conscious decision at that point that I really wanted to find a way to change that. I wanted to be able to be part of their lives and, know what's going on, see them grow up and change the way that they had me in their lives too. So I had no idea what I was going to do. And I just, made that decision. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have a plan. I had to start. And I started with freelancing and consulting, but I eventually found a client who was a small business owner. And she asked if I could help her start her business with branding and marketing. And I worked with her, and she did so well. And she's actually increased her business so much now that she's got 3 locations. Mm-hmm. So that's when I had that light bulb moment, is when I could bring my expertise that I had from the corporate world, working with large businesses, large corporations, to help the small business market and those people that couldn't have access to those large agencies. And that's how I developed my business called Purple Moon Creative, a brand and marketing boutique. Mm-hmm. And I just love working with small business owners now and helping them find their way and find success.
Okay, that's great. So tell me, in simple words for the audiences, we both of us as a marketer might know in detail about branding. How the small companies, or medium-sized companies, or SMEs, or for the matter of fact, the freelancers should brand themselves. What steps they should take it to brand themselves?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to just make sure everybody understands what a brand really is, because so many times I talk to people and they think that a brand is their logo or their website or it's their product, and although those things are a huge part of your brand, mm-hmm. your brand actually is deeper than that. Your brand is the foundation of who you are, what you stand for, and it's actually, if you replace the word brand with the word reputation, mm-hmm. that's actually what your brand is. It's your mm-hmm. reputation. It's mm-hmm. what people think of you. It's what people would describe you. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So that's why it's so important. If you think about your reputation, you need to make sure that people are thinking of you and understand who you are the way that you want them to. Now, that doesn't mean you can tell people what to think, but you can certainly help guide them and give them direction so that you have a brand that has meaning and a brand that has recognition. You need, as a freelancer, as a small business, even somebody that's trying to move up in the corporate world with a personal brand, you need to have, you need to care for your reputation. You can't just let it go out there and do whatever it wants, because when you do that, when you don't build from the foundation and think about how you want to by your audience, then you give that power away to your competition. So we don't want that. And there's so many things that you can do to create that brand. And it starts off with knowing who you are and who you want to be. So many people don't take the time to actually, really think about that. What is the vision that they see for their lives, and how is their business going to support that? That's so important. Who are they? What is really truly important to them? I call those brand values. What are those values that are so important and so inherent to you that if you were to take them away, that you'd be somebody completely different? What do you hold true to yourself? And those are what help make you authentic and genuine and attract the right audience.
So how someone who's starting new can define their audience? Like it's the most difficult thing to find your persona, ideal persona, or to find out where your audience lies there. I'm talking in relation into, I know when we are in Europe or America or probably in Australia and Canada, they're much more refined there. But when we talk about Asia, especially India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, those countries which constitute the Asia mostly, minus China because of the language issues, how they would identify, what is the best possible way to identify their audience?
Well, first off, you have to realize that as much as you think that you have a product or a service that's perfect for everybody, you can't speak to everybody. So you do have to figure out how to narrow down. And to do that, there's a couple of ways. So the first way is if you know that you have already served somebody or somebody has bought your product and has really liked it, and these are people that speak highly of you and you actually enjoy working with them, this is a great place to start. So are these people, what are the characteristics and description of this type of people? What are the similarities of them? What are their specific needs? So, you can start off with, are they, mostly women? Are they mostly men? Or, are they in a specific age group? But also think about what are their issues that they're dealing with, or problems that they're trying to fix that that you can help with, that you can help them solve. What is keeping them stressed and worried that that you have a solution to? So these are the types of people that you need to focus on. And what are all their similarities? So that's how you can start to narrow down a niche. Now, if you don't have one at all, if you're new and you're trying to find that out, this is where research really comes in. And you start with, people that you think that you might like to work with. And I would suggest the best thing you can do is go out there and start to speak to them. Don't guess, talk to them and tell them, suggest, some things that you're thinking about doing, and ask them if, what they're dealing with, what kind of issues they have. So you get their language and you can figure out if you have something that could help them out, and then let them know. Say, completely come out and ask them, is this something that you would find helpful? And
So
start to
do
keep
you
that.
think so? Do you think so? Before starting up any branding, the survey is very important there. Like an individual or a company should go and ask about that's the services or probably a product we are going to start. What is your intake on that? Is that a good way to do?
Well, and I would even, before that, I would even be doing research of, what's available already.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing it, who are the influencers, who are the experts, what websites are available out there. Not so much that so that you can copy it, but so that you can find your space
Mm-hmm.
and what you can do, and also to see if other people are doing it, if that's a good sign. Because
Mm-hmm.
if other people are doing it, that means that there's an audience for it.
Okay. And still, do you think so? If other people are doing, there would be a space for a new entrance?
Definitely, definitely. This is a big, huge world, and
Mm-hmm.
there's room for everybody. So yes, you have to, figure out how the types of people that you want to attract and what's unique to you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's room for everybody.
Okay. So coming up to my next very important question, brand asset. Your logo, your website, your stationery, your printable, well, these days less and less printable, but anyway, PDF brochures. How much importance we should individual, maybe as a freelancer or a new SME, should give on the brand asset itself?
So great question. So my concern is that people will jump into that
Mm-hmm.
before they actually do their research and their surveys and their find out their audience and actually figure out what they're offering.
Mm-hmm.
So you must start off with the brand, which
Mm-hmm.
is, who you are, what you offer, and then you can, once you have that understood, then you can make it look good.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is important, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not important until you have the first part done, which is creating the brand.
Yeah, step one and then
Yeah,
step two. Yeah.
yeah. And then there are so many ways that you can create a look and feel.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this can evolve. So you can take steps to start out that don't have to be perfect
Mm-hmm.
and don't have to be final.
Mm-hmm.
I would say creating a page on the internet. You need to be an internet presence. So
That's right.
so see, as a digital creator, you understand the
Mm-hmm.
importance of this.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show up. And these days, especially during all this craziness, we have to have a presence online. So I would say at least start with a web page that
Mm-hmm.
explains who you are and what you offer,
Mm-hmm.
and a way for people to get in touch with you. So, and I wouldn't say necessarily it's all about selling your product right away or your service. Like, you have to build that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
A brand is all about building relationships with people, because people like to do business with people, but they like to do business with people that they know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so you have to get out there and let people know who you are.
You see, I found out this a very common issue, especially in Asian community or people living in Asia, that they give a lot of a focus on logo and website, and they less focus on research. And that is always, like you explain very effectively in a simple words for all our audiences, that research is a very key point before starting a step two. Like you start crawling and then you start walking and then you start running in your life. So is your research and then your brand assets there. And about a brand strategy, and one person, individual person, as a freelancer or maybe in the company, both in both the cases, should do it to focus on the strategy itself. So assume that we have done research, we know our target audience, we have created our asset more or less there, say like a start with couple of pages of the website, we have our logo done. What is an effective strategy in your eyes there?
It's figuring out the experiences that you can provide
Mm-hmm.
that would bring great results and help you to stand out from your competition. So using your skills, your passions, your knowledge, putting that together in some sort of offer and your product,
Mm-hmm.
then what is it that you can do even prior to that, is there something that you can offer as an introduction, whether it's a freebie, that helps out your client or customer?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a sample? Is it a downloadable something
PDF,
that they can
PDF there,
do?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
something that gives them just a little tangible snack bite of who you are and starts to get them more interested in you.
yeah, like ebook. I was trying
An
to say, yeah.
ebook, yeah,
Yeah,
an ebook.
that's something of value to give to the customers, to say that, look, I want to give you some valuable thing in return, maybe collect some data. That's the effective way of we marketers do it these days.
And I think one of the best ways to start building your brand is to serve and learn. Like
Mm.
I love to use that
That's
analogy.
that's very nice word. Yeah,
That
serve
process.
and learn. Yeah.
Yeah, is
Mm.
you go out there, you don't have to give them everything right away, but
Mhm.
give them a little bit to see, if they can get results with that, if they're happy with that, and take that information so
Mhm.
that you can learn and build from that. So you can actually make your product or service that's actually going to help your audience.
Okay, before I go to the next question, if probably the audience are wondering why we are in pink. Why
Oh,
we are in pink? The Kim is in pink and I'm in the pink. Okay. The reason behind is that I requested Kim especially today if she could be in pink. This is because we are celebrating, well, it's not a matter of celebrating, but we are observing Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. So that's why, in just a matter of solidarity, we are in pink, both of us there. Thank you very much, Kim, for that. But coming back to my next important question about your book, Amazon best-selling author of Branding on Shoestring. Tell me about it.
well, this is a book that I wrote because there were so many people that were entering into the market as entrepreneurs, and this was, even a few years ago. And I noticed that so many people didn't really understand brand and what it could do for them. And that's exactly why I wrote this book. It's an entry point for people to actually do some of these things themselves, understand what to do, how to do it, and then, how to create a message, how to use a story, and then some of those marketing tactics that they can actually begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really passionate about this because even when I started, although I came from the world of marketing, and I thought that I knew everything because, oh yeah, I'd been doing it. But as a small business owner, you don't realize how much you have to do yourself. And this is, just to give people step by step here. Start here. Don't get overwhelmed, but don't ignore your brand, because your brand is your best asset. It's what's going to have your customers or clients choosing you over your competition. It's what's going to make you stand out to the right people and to understand who those right people are. And all of that is in the book, and my story and the story of clients that I've worked with.
Mm-hmm. So the book unique selling point is that you can get a sales in 83 days or less there. Do you in a particularly I would just want to ask a simple it's in my it was in my mind that you are dealing with lots of clients which might be from corporate client to the maybe SMEs there. um, they come to you as a client, ask you, I'm in trouble, I want to launch my brand. How quickly you can help me? That's the obvious question.
Yeah.
Like we go to the doctor and we say we have a pain in the chest, then how quickly you can get rid of it? What is your thought process on that? Telling them, okay, you have to do this 1 2 3 steps there before you can achieve D. So you have to go through ABC. So do you really think so? Think that in current situation, especially in pandemic, there is more opportunities online as well. We can understand more and more people are going for shopping online. More and more people are trying to do their branding online as opposed to a traditional sort of a marketing of a radio or a television there, which kind of very expensive as compared to that. Do you really think that it can be achieved within 83 days or less?
I do. So I'm not saying that you're going to go out and make your millions in that amount of time. I'm going to help you get started and understand how to make a presence and start to attract people so that you're building those relationships. Those relationships turn into customers, and customers that turn into loyal, raving fans. And when you have customers that love you and are those loyal, raving fans, that is the best thing that you can have, because they go out there and they become your brand ambassadors. When you have brand ambassadors, it's like having a sales team that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free.
That's correct. So how important is to be online these days? Like, average person might have a Facebook account there, but in order to get job opportunities, I personally do vouch for having a proper account on LinkedIn, for example. And for in the case of a female brand, whether it's a jewelry or it's a makeup, Instagram is the best platform, these days there. So would you recommend the clients there to say, okay, you have your website, you have done your logo, probably this is the medium you should be very active there, or spend a money on Facebook advertisement, or maybe a Google AdWords?
So I would definitely say everybody should be on one of those platforms at least. That doesn't mean that they should be on all of them. And don't get overwhelmed with trying to be on all of them. Figure out where your audience is, but also figure out where you're comfortable to start. But as you said, like if you have a very visual product that you can showcase, obviously you want to do that with photos and videos. So yes, Instagram is great, but that doesn't mean that Facebook is not. And you can also, now with LinkedIn is improving, and there's been some great updates. So if you have a B2B service, you can be on there because you can do videos, and they now have stories on LinkedIn. And then don't dismiss Twitter. If you are a Twitter fan, there's lots of people there. If you have a young audience, you can try TikTok.
That's correct.
But there's a place for everybody, but don't feel like you have to do everything.
Everything, yeah, that's correct. Okay. And tell me, you're in Canada. How is the marketing in Canada itself there? It's a bit different as compared to, say, America. It's almost the same thing.
There are many similarities, but then there are differences. We're a big country with space, but we are actually a lot more smaller population than they are. Yeah. So they can do, I'd say, a lot more bulk actions than we can. So we get a lot more specific, and I think we focus on individuals or building those relationships more than they might, or they do, but they also go, there's this, just spewing out to everybody sometimes with them, and just see what catches. Okay. Whereas I think we have to be a bit more strategic.
And what are the job prospects for the marketeers in Canada itself? There, I know it's a very booming demand in the United States itself. I think so. It's the fourth profession or fifth one after doctors and the legal paramedic, legals and doctors there. So, is it in a good demand for marketeers in Canada as well?
Yes, it's a fairly good market, especially if you have some online expertise, and if you have something that's kind of unique, that's
Mhm.
always a great thing because then you stand out.
Mhm.
So yes, there's opportunities, but there's also a lot of people trying to get those jobs, especially like right now. Everybody's
Yeah, everybody's
yeah,
there. Okay.
yeah.
So thank you, Kim. There any last message before we say goodbye to our audience? A message you want to give?
Yes, I'd love to tell everybody about my free beta course that I am
That's what
doing.
I was saying. Yes. Please.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're interested, I have a new course that I'm putting together and I'm testing,
Mhm.
and we actually start tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm going to be filming it live, and it's called 10 Days to Create Your Profit Generating Business Plan.
Mhm.
This is all about using your understanding what your unique knowledge, expertise, passions are that you can bring to the table to
Mhm.
create a business or to actually grow a business that you already have.
Mhm.
So yes, we'll be starting tomorrow, and it goes for just over a week.
Mhm.
And I offer anybody that's interested to jump on board, and I can provide you a link, and
Mhm.
you can fill out the application if you're interested.
Yeah, I understand it's in beta, and you are asking people to test it before you launch officially. Is that correct? Yeah.
That's correct. So I'm actually filming it live in front of
Mhm.
this beta audience, and it is free. The only thing that I ask is that you provide feedback and a testimonial if you've liked the course.
I'm sure that would be fantastic for the audiences. Would you mind sharing the link there so that I can also post, or you can post it on the live comments there if it's available
Yes,
there? Yeah,
yes. So I have a link here,
yeah.
and should I put it in the comments?
Please, yes, please.
Oh, um, some destinations won't get.
Well, don't worry, I'll share it once
Okay,
you do it
I'll
on
put it in
Facebook.
our chat, and you can.
Yeah, please.
There you go. So that is
Okay.
the application form,
Mhm.
just to get people to qualify that it would be right for them,
Okay.
and then
It's a 10 day. Is it 10 days you will doing live there?
so there's actually 6 live sessions, and then some time to actually do the work in between.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kim, for joining us today. I hope the audiences have learned a lot today about the branding itself. We, as a general layman, have a lot of a question about branding. We keep on hearing this word branding, but you really explain in a simple word what as a freelancer or as SME should do it in order to achieve its brand to optimize level there. Thank you very much for today, and I hope in the future coming days I'm trying to do another one with a couple of other people there, and I will invite you as a guest as well there. So anyway, thank you for coming today live with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure, and I really enjoyed helping your audience. I hope it does help somebody.
Thank you very much.